Okay, you can start recording now. Just tell me when you started. All right. So, if you want us to mod Voices of the Void, we're going to be doing this for 0.6.3 because at the moment 0.7 has just come out and it doesn't work properly. We have to wait till the next patch. But we're going to be doing this for 0.6.3, and for that you're going to need to download Unreal Engine from Epic Games. Just download 4.27.2. That's the engine version that Voices of the Void was made on. So once you have that installed, you're going to just launch it.
Bro?
Once it's installed, just launch it. You should see the Unreal Editor pop up. You might have Steam VR or something else show up. Just close it. I don't know why it does that. It just does. So you're going to go to Games, hit Next. We're going to select the blank template. Next.
Starter content.
You're going to choose Blueprint. These don't matter. Just keep that on desktop and set no starter content here. You can have it enabled, but it makes your packs just not fun to compile. I just recommend having it off.
Also, one more thing. What are packs?
A .pak file or a pack is how Unreal Engine stores its assets. So, like, you can store different things in different pack files, and those will be the assets your mod loads.
All right.
So we have our settings set up for our project.
How do you create a pack, though?
You compile one.
Nighty, I am going to get to that.
Okay.
Just wait. Okay, so where it says name, you're going to set the name to VOTV, spelt like this. So capital V, lowercase o, lowercase t, capital V. But I already have one, so I'm just going to name this VOTV tutorial. Now you're going to wait until the editor boots up. It should say VOTV instead of VOTV tutorial for you. And you'll be left with this blank project. Nighty, please.
Okay.
All right, so once you get into the editor, you're going to have to do a few steps. So first of all, we're going to install a certain plugin. So either you should search up how to install an Unreal Engine plugin, but we're going to have to install something called Victory plugin. There should be a link with the SDK for VoidMod in the Discord for Eternity Dev in the thread. I might either act that they put this in like a comment or in the description, like a link to it, but basically it's called Victory plugin. This is how the game does a lot of its interactions, and you'll see that I have it here. So once you've searched up how to install it and you've installed it properly, it should show up in your plugins browser. So we just hit the enable checkmark, and you'll have to restart the editor to have your changes saved.
God, the brain juices are flowing. So what purpose does Victory plugin really serve?
Like I was saying, Victory plugin basically allows you to run some of the functions that the game uses, and it allows you to use VoidMod's configuration file. Because there's like a config for the mods, and the way that I write to it is using that plugin.
Cool.
So, again, close Steam VR. Now you're going to notice that we have a blank project entirely because we chose no starter content, and that's good. But we need some assets to get mods working. Yeah. So another thing you should see linked somewhere, it's in the VOTV Discord. It's in a thread for VoidMod. It's going to look something like this. So you'll have this thread with different versions you can download from Thunderstore. You'll see there's also a VoidMod dev kit. It'll tell you what you need to install. Like I already told you, it does require Victory BP. You'll see this zip. You're just going to download it. All right, so yeah, you're going to download the dev kit. So after that, you're going to open up the zip. It's going to look something like this, right? So you have all these files here, and you'll have a README. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find where you stored the Unreal project. It should be in like your documents under the folder Unreal projects. but there's going to be this folder right here. So you're going to go to the project folder, content, and then you're going to extract everything from the zip into this folder. Of course, pzip is kind of weird, so I have to do it like twice. There we go. So now you'll see that all the assets start flooding in. Now if we open this, you should see that the README has a lot of different blueprint code blocks. And these are basically how the mod work. So I'll just run you through like a very simple go through. Welcome to the VotV modding development kit. Here are some special blueprints you should know, and it contains a mod that you can use for your template. It's called Sample Banana Cat, and that just adds a stupid plushie of a banana cat to the game.
Yeah. Don't like it. It's not in the voices of the voice style, but whatever.
Well, it's just a template. It's supposed to show you how you can add a prop.
Yeah.
All right, so when we register a mod, we need to create something called a mod actor. So if we go into the mods folder, you'll see that we have two different mods. We have void mod, which is required, and we have sample banana cat, and this has a mod actor. So if we wanted to create our own mod, what we have to do is we have to make a folder, and we'll name it whatever we want the name of our mod to be. So I'm going to name it just tutorial mod for now. So in tutorial mod, you're going to make a blueprint class. By right-clicking, press blueprint class. You're going to click actor, and then you're going to name it mod actor. Like this, capital M, capital A. So we're just going to save all, and we're going to open it. So we have the README, and we have the mod actor. So you're going to click on the event graph next to the viewport and construction in the mod actor. And you're going to have these useless events. We don't need any of, well, we can use the tick, so I'm going to save that. But normally you don't use it that much, unless you're doing like a lot of logic. But if you're adding like a prop, you don't need it. So registering your mod. So you're going to have to create an event. You're going to call it post begin play. And here I'll just show you the banana cat mod so you can see. So you have the post begin play event, and you have this simple setup. That's all you have to do to set up a mod, and I'll walk you through how to do that. So once you have your post begin play event, you're going to add a delay for like about 1/4 of a second, so 0.25. And this is just to make sure that the game loads first. You don't want to try and load a mod before the game loads, because that'll just cause it to just not work at all. And you also want to wait like a little bit longer to make sure that void mod has loaded properly. Otherwise, you'll just end up loading stuff to something that doesn't exist. So after we do that, we have to...
Gato, quick question.
Yes?
How long have you been doing this?
About half a year.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So once you get your delay in, you're going to drag off a pin, and you're going to get actor of class. So just search for that. You'll find the get actor of class node, and you're going to find the mod actor. But you're going to notice there might be a multiple of these. So you're going to have to hover over it and try and find which one is labeled void mod actor. Or what you could just do is copy the one that I put in the README, because that automatically has the correct mod actor setup. As you can see, it'll have this, and I can drag off and get all my custom stuff from it. But we're going to get the actor of the mod. Like, actors in this game are like the objects that have special logic. So the void mod actor contains all the functions for void mod. So let's say you wanted to add a custom prop. Well, I'll just show you what it looks like to add a prop. But you're going to need another actor, so you'd right-click and you do an actor. And all you need for it to work is just to, in your default scene root, you're going to import a static mesh. Like, if you have a mesh, you could just right-click, import to, and then the path. And then you upload a model and like a texture and stuff. I'm not going to walk you through that because it's kind of basic Unreal Engine knowledge. If you want to make a mod, you should know Unreal Engine. But you should import the static mesh into your default scene root for whatever the prop actor is. And the static mesh should, if it's a prop, ideally it should have physics, simulate physics, enable gravity, and it should have its own collision. So if I show you the banana cat model, the static mesh, it has a simple collision mask that mainly covers like the whole banana.
Wait, are you actually using a banana for scale?
Shut up. But yeah, so once you have your actor for the model, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a node that says cast2, and we're just going to type in whatever the name is. So I'm going to use the banana cat for my example. And you're going to want to get the cast2 class. So a cast2 class basically just lets you get whatever class you want the object to be when you load it. So we get this to load void mod into our script, or not our script, our blueprint. And then we have a cast to get the class of the prop that we want to add. And if you read the README, we have the next step, which is to register the mod. So what you're going to do is from the mod actor, we're going to drag off and we're going to create a node that says register mod. You're looking for the one that doesn't have anything at the end. So just register mod, not
shit, I gotta
interface
go.
call or
Sorry.
message, but register mod. You'll see that the target is a yellow thing and it's got like a blue thing connecting to it. That's how you know it works. So you're going to drag the arrow connector so that this is connected to this. So what's going to happen? It's going to wait to load everything. It's going to get void mod. It's going to load our prop. And then it's going to start registering the mod. So we're going to start simple with the register. And we're just going to give the mod an ID. So this will be the name of your mod without spaces. So for example, tutorial mod, just tutorial mod. Like that. So we have mod ID, tutorial mod. Description is what it's going to show when you go to the mod list as the description name for the mod. So I'll just name it. This is the tutorial mod. And you'll have to select a mod icon. And you can just use this right here. It's called a black image if you don't have a texture yet. And that'll just give you like a placeholder image to use for void mod. And now you're going to see two different inputs here that are like squares instead of like the dots. And that's because these are array inputs. So we're going to make a new node from here. We're just going to add a component, or just type in make array. And you'll get this node to pop out. So the custom actors is an array of a structure called custom actor. And when you split it, or if you were to instead drag off one of these and do a make custom actor, then you'll see all these things different that'll pop out when you click that arrow. And basically all you have to do is, we have our cast here for the custom prop we're adding. So we're going to take as banana cat or whatever your prop name is. You're going to drag it to this actor node. And we're going to make a string ID for it, which is what the prop name is. So just prop underscore banana cat. That works. This is like the thing that lets you select it in certain cases. It's just there for like readability. So you'll have the visible name. I'm trying to remember. I believe the visible name is. It's either. Wait, I'll just show you the README. So, actor is the cast. String ID is the internal thing that's used for loading it. Visible name is what it'll show in the spawn menu. Visible description. There's no actual description for the spawn menu. Instead, what the description is like when you hover over like a food, it says used to eat or like eat instead of something at the bottom. And that's what this controls. So you can leave it blank to not show anything, Or if I wanted to have like a description, like a tag that says press use to consume, then you would type that in here. So I'm just going to name this banana cat plush, and I'll leave the description blank. And now we have spawnable. So will it show up in the spawn menu? If we want it to be in the spawn menu, you check it. If not, then no. Is it a prop? This basically means, can you do like the prop interaction with it? Now this is going to be changed when we eventually get what we call data tables to work, because we can inject our own props that way. But right now you have to use this. So if it's a prop, you check that. If you don't want it to be held in the hand, like if you want it to be something that's too heavy or something, you would check prevent holding in hand. And if it has a use function, which I'm not going to get into, but you can ask later in the Discord and I'll try and show you, or someone else can explain it. But this adds like a use function. So if you wanted to like have a context menu thing that uses it, you would check that. And this is the icon that's used in the spawn menu. So I'll just do black image again. But that's technically all you really need to make a mod. Just get the game to load, get the void mod, get your props or your actors cast, and then register the mod using the arrays. That's it. Oh, I should also explain custom events, because that's pretty new.
Yeah.
So let's make an array here, and I'll just split off a new one. And you'll see that the custom event, this is not going to change too much, but it follows very similar premises. So let's say instead of making a prop, you made a Unreal Engine blueprint that does something to the game. Like it spawns in, like, I don't know, a ton of array rules for God knows what. Well, then you would make an event handler object, and you would cast it here, and you would take that object, and you would plug it into the event actor. This is what's going to be spawning when the event triggers. So we're going to name the event ID. It's basically the same thing as the string ID for that.
What are you doing?
And I'm showing them how to make a mod.
Oh. Well, how the hell do I respawn an ATV?
This is like not the best time to ask or the best place to ask
But-
right now, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is cool.
Mine kind of
Don't-
just vanished, though.
It should be an option in your save settings, like on the menu.
Oh.
All right,
Yeah,
so
save, exit, and go to your save slots.
back to this custom event. So the event weight. So basically, I have a weighted system. So the weight that you put in is how likely that event is going to be chosen randomly. But if you have to check is random if you want the event weight to actually have a feature or function. Otherwise, it does nothing. But if you have it checked to random, then when it tried to randomly spawn an event, which is like every 45 minutes to an hour and a half, it's entirely random. You could like make it as frequent as you want, but it'll only affect modded events. So we have an event weight, and this will basically determine how likely it is to choose that event out of anything else. So if this was like 1 and the total weight is 10, so every event added together equals 10, then there is a 1 in 10 chance that this event will be the one selected. That's as simple as I can explain it.
All right.
Now, depending on if it's random or not, this is going to determine what the required day does. But basically, the required things are either when it's not random, it'll happen at this exact day, hour, and minute. So it's like a story mode event, basically. And if you wanted, you can add like a random factor to this by making it like a select random, random integer and range. And you would input like a wide range of hours and minutes you want it to happen. So that's how you would do like a random timed story event. But for the most part, if we did this on like day 5 at I don't know, 7 in the morning, then this would trigger like that. But instead, if you choose is random, then it can only happen when it's been past day 5 and past hour 7. So that's how the random modifier changes this up. And you'll see one more thing. It just says create actor add, and this is a transform, which if I make a transform here, you'll see it takes in a location, rotation, and scale. For the most part, if you're doing like a position-based event, you would just set the location to somewhere. You don't have to normally worry about rotation unless it's not handled by the event. But if it isn't, then you can always set it here. And that just tells the game, oh, we're going to spawn the handle there. So that's where it's relative to. And that's basically everything for making the basic mod features.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any way to sort of link signals and events?
Currently not now because there's not really even a way to add signals properly. We had to like overwrite the data tables, and we're working on getting something to do that. But for now, it's not possible.
So, in theory, say you want an event to just happen on a day after a signal, but say you have to get that signal before midnight, like 24. Could you then make the event 24 so that it just happens at the end of the night and say that the signal is what causes it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would be like one of the easiest way to make an event signal.
Okay. Also, I saw questions. I didn't read them yet, but so Victory
Oh
plugin.
boy.
Sorry, I know it's late. Victory plugin, like I said, is also by the Void Mod Dev Kit. Void Mod Loader. So if you didn't catch it, the link right here, or here rather, it gives you a link to this forum post, which when I open up in a tab, ignore my 8-bit Ryan. I love watching his content. He's good. But you'll see this lead to this, and you're just going to scroll down, and you're going to download this here, Victory Plugin 27. And from here, you'll have to know how to install a plugin to Unreal Engine. I'm not going to walk through that because it's going to involve just me digging through a lot of files.
I did it. It was simple.
Yeah.
Have you guys perfected it?
No,
No, 90.
Zam.
I'm probably brain
All right.
damaged.
And what was the other question? How do you add the example mod? All you have to do is go to the Unreal projects folder in your documents or wherever you set the project to be stored. Open the project, go to the content folder, and then unzip the dev kit zip contents into there.
Oh,
And you'll see it like slowly show up at the bottom of your Unreal Engine editor.
okay.
Alright, now how do I make my own game?
Nighty, shut up. I'm trying to be serious
Yeah,
with
what
this.
the fuck?
No, what the fuck? He's trying to explain this coherently.
Yeah. All right. So that's the simple part of the tutorial for like setting up a mod. I kind of broken down how the different parts of loading the mod go. But if you wanted to have like a tick function, what you would do is just drag this off and it'll execute every game update. And this is how you do like a custom feature. If you wanted to add like your own stat, you would run it on event tick. So you drag off, you do like a brand to check if it's in the game. Then you would do like I don't know, just some logic here. But that's what the tick function is for. That's why I said you should keep it. All right. So because there's not a lot of content in here, I'll just walk you through what else is in the README. But I'm going to show you like an actual mod that I made, and I'll walk you through like the basic stuff that you should know from that. So the README should tell you how to do all this. But it explains like why you have to wait for the dependencies and stuff, and it gives you the structure details. And you'll see that right here we have interacting with core game functionality. This is how you get the base game info. So we're going to start with get main game instance. This is a very important node. It allows you to get the save slot. So you could get the save slot name, and this
Sorry.
is how you can check if the game is like loaded. So if you're on the menu, this will normally be like an empty string, but if it's in game, it'll match whatever you name the game file. So, for example, if you had a story save and it was named test world, then it would be in this variable. It would start with s underscore and then test world. So you can use that to check what mode you're playing to see if it starts with like s. So you do like starts with underscore s or s underscore, and you would do that into a branch, and that would be like a true or false statement, or like an if then, and that's how you can like get stuff to happen only when you're in the game or only on the menu. All right, next up, this is probably the most important node. It's called get main game mode, and this is what basically controls Voices of the Void as you know it. Now, when you install Void Mod Dev Kit, it has a lot of these functions already made for you, so you could just copy them from this. But you're going to, if you want to mess with the main game, you have to get the main game mode first. So you'd run this through a node. Let's say that after this happens, so from here, branch, or no, we don't want to branch. Get main game instance. Get slot name. Starts with. So if it's a sandbox save, or not a sandbox, a story mode save, or if it just is longer than 2, so I normally do like length is greater than 2, then branch. If it's true, this means we're inside the game, so we're going to get the main game mode. So that's how you do like an in-game only thing. From here, you can do a lot of stuff. So you can force certain events. You can spawn the black fog, the red sky, or bad sun from this. All you have to do is just like spawn, and you'll see the call functions here. You can get the current in-game time using this function. I recommend just copying it from the README because I don't really like having to search for it, but you can just do this. It'll always be a message, so get in-game time. And I had to write this function myself, so it's not exactly from the game, but it should do the exact same thing. It just makes it simpler for you to get it. So you do day, hour, minute, that gives you the current time of your world. You can also speed up or slow down the game by using these functions. So this will get and set the timescale. It's kind of self-explanatory. And I believe the last time I checked, it could be different in 0.7, but in 0.6.3, the default story mode normal mode uses a timescale speed of 0.8. I don't recommend using this. The launch server minigame does nothing, really, but it does work, I guess. There's another function you can use from Void Mod if you get the mod actor. It's called get room from position. So let's say I had it from here. Get room from position. And what this does is, let's say you had the player. So you had the player's location, you would put it into this position, and it would give you this room node. So it's a base room enumeration, which is like a list of different things that it could be. And this is what it looks like. So you have outside, and in 0.6.3, these are the current rooms that are added. But I'm going to add the 0.7 rooms once I have access to making mods for it. So you could like check if they're in the garage, and if they are, then we could like spawn something in the garage.
Height.
But yeah, that's another really useful thing if you want to make like certain event that only happen when you're in a certain room. So I recommend using that a lot. And then we also have the other main important thing, which is get main player. And get main player is basically the blueprint that controls your character. It's basically Dr. Kell as a blueprint. And you can call this function to get Kell. You can give him food, sleep, and health using this function. If he's exhausted, like he can't run or something, you could run that. This will toggle their flashlight on and off, and this function will temporarily stop the player from moving. But I recommend using it on event tick since it only stops it for that key press, and once the player inputs a new movement key, it will work as normal. So I recommend doing it on a tick loop, which is basically every frame. And that's basically how you do most of the game interaction. I'll also go over something called ghost referencing when I show you my mod. But here we have the next section, which I call the configuration support. Now this is probably going to be redone at some point, but it shouldn't really change that much. But as you can see, I have different functions that allow you to store different variables in your saves. So when you first make a mod, you're going to also want to set these, which are default mod configuration values. So let's say in our mod, we wanted to have a config value for the settings menu that, let's say it's like a checkmark box. So it's a checkmark box that, I don't know, would enable a certain feature. So what you do is you go from the get actor of class void mod and you type in set default, and you should see set default mod config. So reroute our arrows to connect through this. Whatever your mod ID is, you're going to copy and paste into the mod name. The variable name is, right now there's only two types of variable. There's a text box and a check mark. If you want it to be a check mark, which is a bool, if you don't know what a bool is, it's a 0 or 1, a true or false statement basically. If it's true, then it does one thing. If it's false, it does another. So let's say it's a check mark. So we have to do bool underscore just enable feature. So in the settings menu, it'll show as enable feature, but it will be a check mark because we started with bool underscore. Or is it b underscore? I forgot which one. No, it's bool underscore. So whatever the type of variable is, you put that before and then underscore and then the variable name. And then we have a value, which is the default value that you put in. So if it's like an int or a string or something, you just put it in as a string. And when you get it out, you'll just have to convert it. And the reason why we do a set default instead of a save mod config value, which is basically the same function, but the default one, it won't overwrite your existing settings. The set value will. So if you have pre-made settings, it will overwrite it. And you can also get a config value. So if we wanted to get the value from the mod, if it did return a value, you do like a branch. Sorry. Branch. Oh my god, my keyboard. Branch. Okay, what the fuck? So branch, if it did give us a value, then you'd cast it to something. So like cast to int. So for a bool, you do cast to int. And then you do int to bool. So like that. And this would give you the value of the config. There's a lot of different things that you have to find out yourself just by doing this, though, and I recommend you spend the time to learn, because it is a bit confusing. I didn't really make that too self-explanatory. There is also save, like in-game save. Like when you have a story mode save, there's variables you can store under that, but it's currently not very well made, so I wouldn't. I'm not going to show it here, but like the README will tell you about it. And then we have the exporting a mod. but I'm going to get to that after I show you this because I added this later. Oh wait, here it is. So this will basically just cover saving and loading certain variables to your save. And I recommend only doing this on like a story mode thing, otherwise it doesn't really work that well. But it tells you how to store different variables, and you can read through it yourself. I'm not going to read through it myself because it is kind of hard to explain, but basically just give it a value in this structure, you name the variable, and then you can save it to the array for loaded stuff, and then you can get it from it. That's basically all it does. And right here we have the custom commands for the terminal. So if you wanted to do like an sv.ping, but like your own custom command. So let's say you wanted to add like a secret command, you would do it here. So from the void mod actor, you're gonna drag this out. Just search command and you'll see in the default section, there is bind event to on command enter. So when you do that node, we're just gonna drag that there. You're gonna see this red thing called event. When you drag off, just type in make, or no, not even make. You have to add in the new event, and you'll click add custom event, and you'll name it whatever you want your event handler to be. So I'll just call it command handler, and it should give you the command and the parameter that are passed into the command right here. So I'll show you right here. We have an example. So these are 3 different commands that just run through the example. And I have the functions for writing stuff to the console and deleting messages. So here, I'll just show you me making a command right now. So we're going to make a branch. And we're going to have our command. And we're going to check if it's equal to tutorial.test. And that'll just be our command. So if you type this into the console, then it will flag this as true. So when it's true, we're going to run the delete function like this. And you're going to, wait, I'll just drag it from here. So you're going to delete last console line, which will get rid of the error message. So if you have like, you know how when you type out an invalid command, it says like error or something? This gets rid of that. So that means it's a valid command now. And now what we want to do is we want to have whatever logic you want to run. And then you want to print out the command that or the response to the command. So you do write line to console, which you'd also drag out from here. I actually don't recommend you do it from here. I recommend you get the thing here first. It's much better if you do it from here. So drag that there. And that way it'll be always fresh when it needs it. And then we can write line to console. And in the README file, I left a thing here that tells you how to do colored text. So if I want to copy this into the input, that's what it would show as. It would show red text as red, the yellow is yellow, green is green, and the cyan is cyan. But anything that's not in like these symbols will be white. So I have a very simple hello world that I can use. And basically when we run this command, it'll just say hello world. But I know that's not what everyone wants. They want to add like custom inputs to the command. So we have a parameter string. And what that is you're going to copy this node here and just attach it to the params for the input string. And this will give you something called output strings. You're going to just type in get, and you're going to want to get either one works. I'll just do copy. but this will get you the parameter at the index. So it starts at 0. So if you typed in tutorial test and then Among Us balls, yeah, I know it's funny, but just basically Among Us would be at 0 and balls would be at 1. So that's how you get the parameters, and you can like you could do like your own branch here, and you could like have it write certain thing based on what you put in. But that's basically how you do like custom console commands. Not like console commands, you know what I mean, like a terminal command. That is most of the complex stuff that I've covered that is in VoidMod. But I'll show you now how to export your mod so you can load it in game. But I'm not going to teach you how to install VoidMod. I'm not teaching that. There are videos out there, I believe, or you could just ask in the Discord on how to install it. Or what I recommend is waiting for Thunderstore to come around, and then I'll show you how to do mods for that. It's 10 times easier to use Thunderstore than to do it manually. But this basically runs you through doing it. So I'm going to drag out this window. I'm going to go to Settings, Project Setting. And at the top, you're going to type in pack chunk. Or not chunk, pack chunk, just chunk. I cannot spell for my life. Really? There we go. So under project packaging, we're going to generate chunks. And then we're going to scroll down. I believe you could scroll down. I don't remember where it was. I think it might be in preferences. Yeah, no, it's in preferences. So after you've checked the generate packs, we're going to go to editor preferences, and you're going to type in assign, and you'll see allow chunk ID assignments. So you're going to check that. We're going to close this. And now everything that's in your mod folder, you have to go through like every folder too. So if you have like folders like I do, you have to go through all these. You're going to select them all. And you're going to do asset actions with a right click, asset actions, assign to chunk. And you're going to type in the number for the chunk ID that you want your mod to be set on. So like I go up by 1 every time I make a mod. So you would do like, I don't know, pack 69. And they would just hit OK. So for our tutorial mod, I'll just do, we're going to save it. And then we're going to assign it to pack 69. Hit OK, save. And once you've done that for everything that's loaded in your mod, you're going to go to File, Package, Windows 64, and then you're just going to you'll get like a pop-up like this. You're just going to hit Select. Or I normally make like a project or an output folder, and you'll see this pop up here. And this is basically telling you that it's trying to build your mod. So you're going to have to wait for it to finish. Also, I will say that sometimes it is going to take a long time for Shader to compile. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm canceling my package just so I can show you. If you have
was
custom,
that what that sound was?
yes, that's what that was.
That's a scary sound for just canceling a package.
One more thing you have to do in project settings is search up material. And you're gonna see something that says share material shader code. You have to check that off, so turn it off. Because basically what's happening is it's trying to reuse certain things that are already in the base project. But because we're only loading stuff from our mod, it's going to try and load stuff that doesn't exist, and it's going to give you some errors. So you have to uncheck that. And if it doesn't work, then you just recheck it. But I believe it's unchecked that works. Or at least it works for me. So you go to Windows 64, blah, 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 you package it. And in the meantime, I'm going to open up the folder prematurely so you can see what it looks like when it gets out. All right. So as you can see, it finally finished. So we're going to go to wherever you store your Unreal projects, into your VotV project. Remember, it should be titled VotV, not VotV tutorial. Otherwise, it won't work. But you'll go to... Oops, I didn't mean to go in there. Oh my god, my File Explorer is fucking... I hate File Explorer so much. Alright, output, Windows No Editor, VotV, content, packs, and you'll see a thing called pack chunk, the digit, and then Windows No Editor.pack. And you'll see that we have one that's labeled pack chunk 69 because our mod is stored on asset chunk 69. So we're going to rename it to the same name for the folder of the mod. So content mods and then the mod name here. This is what you're going to rename the pack to. And now you'll put this in your logic
literally
mods
looks
folder.
like a beacon now because of the way that the lights work in the rain.
So logic mods.
So cool.
You will paste it right in here. And that's all you have to do. Once you have Void mod properly installed and a shim loader, put it with the Void mod pack, and then you run the game. But of course, since I made the mod in something called VotV tutorial, it's not going to work. But if you follow my instructions exactly, it should work for you. Before we finish, I just want to show you what one of my completed mod will look like what a completed mod looks like, just so you can see just what it looks like. I don't know how to explain anything else past that. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open up my VotV. Oh my god, did you really make a fucking Minecraft resource pack for weather?
Yeah.
You really are a nerd.
Yeah, I am. That resource pack was actually a fork of a fork of a fork.
What did you do?
Well, it's really old. It's like from 2015. I just updated it to a newer version.
I don't know what the fuck happened to your thing. Like, you sent an image in chat. I don't know what the fuck happened, but it works perfectly fine for me. So I really can't say anything. It works fine for everyone else.
I'll figure it out.
But, like, you should get this basic idea of how it works just from reading
Yeah.
what's wrong with it. Alright, but Tank, be quiet, please. Or who was it that joined?
Tank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tank, be quiet for a minute.
Why?
So, as you can see, I have a lot of mods here. A lot of them aren't
You're
even
doing
finished.
school.
A lot of them aren't finished, but I'll just show you what completed mod looks like, because this is my magnum opus mod. This is what it looks like on the inside. It is very chaotic. There's not really any way to make it a lot better, but just to show you, so on the startup, I make my default variables. I don't have any objects or event that happen yet. I'm going to add some eventually because I think it would be funny. But I don't have any now, so I don't really set any. I just set the mod and initialize it. Then, if it's in the game, so if it's loaded the slot, it waits 1 second for everything to load in. And then it starts a sequence of events. So it starts here, and it goes up there. And then after that stuff finishes, it goes to here, and then it goes to here. So from here, we just cache all the old assets, because I modify some of them. And then we add the custom features, which are like the weather system particles. And I set all their defaults and I set them to variables here.
And this is
And
for the
it's a
weather
very
mod?
long list of stuff, but I'm not going to explain much of it. And then we have this, which is basically a lot of checks to make sure that everything's working properly. It will give you like an automated season. It'll send you an email, which is another feature you can do. I just didn't show it, but you can send emails using different functions from lib. We have like add email and also add hint and a few other things. But that's how you do like some of the UI stuff. We set some variables. I log some debug stuff. I set some variables, and then we just do a whole lot more of that basically. And I register my custom commands because I have 2 of them, which basically just check the climate control for my weather, and it gives you like a weather schedule. And then we have a lot of game logic, but as you can see, it's very complex. I'm not going to explain it much more, but I will show you something that I am doing throughout this, and that is called ghost referencing or at least to me, it's called ghost referencing, but it's where you get something from the base game, and you basically recreate it in the Unreal Engine editor. So like here, if I go to content, I have different folders. I have objects, and inside I have a lot of things that are from the base game. So like the prop for the gas can, it's a prop, and there's a variable on it that's called amount, and this stores the amount of gas that's in the gas can. Now, I of course don't have access to the code to modify it, but I can still read from it in my mods by creating a blank actor, like right click, blueprint class actor. Just name it the exact same as the thing you're referencing, put it in the exact same path, and then give it the exact same variable, and you'll be able to read it. So like when if I can find it, where is it? Here. So when I collide with the thing, if it's a gas can, I get the amount, and if it's got some gas in it,
Hello, I'm back.
if there's gas in the
Yeah,
can, I set it
Sorry,
to.
I just dealt with like the wrath and the fury of like 80 gods. It was terrifying.
All right.
Anyways,
So I get the gas can. 90, stop.
what
I'm
happened?
almost done.
90, shut up.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So-
Excuse me.
When you have an actor, you can cast it to certain thing to see if it is that type. So I check if it's a prop. If it is a prop, then I check if it's a gas can. If it's a gas can, I can get the amount of gas in it. And then I take the amount of gas and I check if it's more than 0. If it is, then I add half of what it is that's in the gas can to my power generator. And then I set the amount that's in the gas can to 0. And that basically lets me control what's inside the gas can without having any like actual code for it written. And you can do this for anything in the game, but you have to know where it is, where it's stored. And for a lot of people, that's very hard to do. So I recommend just sticking to the simpler side of things and make your own custom props. That's like the simplest thing you can do. But when you get like to a certain level of knowledge, you'll be able to understand this a lot more, and you'll be able to make some really cool stuff. That being said, that's basically everything I can think of talking about now. Is there any like huge questions that I haven't answered that you guys can think of?
Nah.
Anyone?
Hmm.
I wasn't paying attention, but that's because I'm not modding. No, because you have to install.
You can
Void mod.
technically use void mod right now to make a mod, and it would work if you were using 0.6.3, but it won't load until Nose releases the next patch. It won't load,
Yeah.
but it'll still technically work on an older version.
Technically, void mode doesn't even load itself.
Yeah, nothing actually loads yet because of the AES encryption key that's
Yeah,
preventing it from
yeah,
loading.
Nose encrypted it.
He unencrypted it, but we have to wait for a patch. But basically, yeah. Once it does get out, I'll update VoidMod to work with 0.7. I'll give it all the new room for the base and everything, and I'll probably change how the configs work a bit so that they're stored in different files for each mod.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it should work about the same, and you shouldn't have many different changes from this video or like showcase rather. That's basically all I can think of. Sorry for it taking so long, but like
No,
you know, it's a lot to cover. And
No,
if you have any question, there's always the README file. It has a lot of the basic functions in
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
What is
yeah, that's all I can really
Max-
think of.
What is
That's it.
Dr. Max's PFP?
So yeah, if you want, just stop recording, and if you want, you can upload it to YouTube.
Link me the video when it's done uploading.